consumer culture, it may feel like people are constantly adding new stuff to their lives, whether it be materialistic items to keep up with the Jones or on a deeper and spiritual level. Minimalism has become a modern way of life to debunk this trend. However, we are covering 3 things you should consider deleting from your life today, with item 1 being the hidden cost of lack of self-awareness. Examine both yourself and the company you keep. Self-examination is no easy task, of course. Ego and self-deception will try to block your quest for self-knowledge, assuring you that you already know yourself. Epictetus. It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. So as you examine yourself, stay humble, stay open, and receptive. What you see might be hard to look at: weaknesses, bad habits, limitations, which we will cover a bit later in the video, and pride and self-regard. Push through the pain. Keep looking. It's important to take stock of everything, even if it's uncomfortable. If you don't take an honest look at your less lovely qualities, you'll never be able to work toward changing them. It's also important to be aware of those around you. The people you spend your time with will influence the kind of person you become. Most people have heard the phrase, "You become the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with." If you're around people who push you to be better, you'll improve. Of course, the opposite is also true. If you get to know yourself and others better, you'll be able to see your actions in a clearer light. And this clarity will help you choose actions that are courageous, wise, moderate, and just. You can start by testing your thinking for biases. The mind has a crafty ability to make split-second decisions based on past experiences. Like, you hear an angry dog barking behind you, and before you know it, you've leapt into the branches of a nearby tree. That's helpful and good. But, as Malcolm Gladwell points out in his book, Blink, this ability also has a downside. It's just as easy for us to self-affirm our prejudices at the same lightning speed. For instance, you meet a total stranger at a party who just so happens to look exactly like your high school arch-nemesis, and you find yourself being rude to this blameless stranger. It's not always easy, but before you act, try to pause and consider what assumptions and prejudices you're bringing to the table. Ask yourself questions like, what could I have overlooked here? Or, is it possible I'm wrong about this? The hidden cost of bad diets. Western societies seemingly encourage us to be passive and mediocre through bad diets and a lack of exercise. Almost every standard food product has unnatural amounts of sugar. Juice, sauces, sodas, or cakes are just a few examples. Sugar causes your brain to produce more dopamine, so it's easy to get addicted to it. And a sugar addiction increases your risk of developing diabetes. After all, our bodies are designed to extract nutrients from those kinds of foods, not from unnatural foods with additives. Unhealthy food is one of modern society's major problems, but most of us have another serious issue on our hands. We're passive. Passiveness makes our lives dry, dull, and insignificant. Children naturally avoid being passive. They exercise without realizing it. They explore, take risks, and discover things for themselves. But we lose these abilities as adults. Instead, we adopt society's standards that tell us to avoid anything that's new or that requires effort. This leads us into a life of mediocrity. Modern-day ailments like stress, depression, lethargy, and anxiety can all be relieved through exercise. Ditch the passivity and start exploring. The hidden cost of pushing the boundaries. Don't disregard your safety. When you push yourself to the limits of your mental or physical abilities, you might accidentally go too far. Take physical abilities, for example. There's always a risk when it comes to extreme activities. Sometimes people get too excited or panic and go over the edge, causing serious harm to themselves or others. It's important to be motivated, but you also have to evaluate situations rationally so you can prevent injuries to the greatest extent possible. In life, there are perceived limits and real limits. You need to know and respect the difference, so accept the real limit you have now, but keep trying to succeed in the future. You or your circumstances can always change, and you might be able to overcome your previous limits. You can push yourself, but you can't force yourself to work endlessly. Make sure you take in the right nutrients so you can push yourself in an effective way. Low energy levels can limit you. If you like this video, then you are also going to like the video that we made on using Stoicism to outsmart everyone around. Click here to watch the full video. The development zone will see you in the next video.